everyone, guess what? Oh my God, we're here with Stu Folsom from Spirit World. Spirit World. Ah. Um, what a fucking what a great band you all have. First and foremost, it is spectacular. This year you all are new to me. I caught you on tour with Obituary, Terror, Nails, and Pest Control.
Hmm.
And your fucking live show, I was just like, okay, I'm here for this. So thank you for being entertaining as fuck.
Yeah, no worries, man.
So the first question that I have, I noticed at Louder Than Life and with Avatar, you guys were a four piece.
Yeah.
Randy was off somewhere else.
Yeah, he plays in Ghost. So, right after Death Western came out, he got the Ghost gig. So, he is the one of the nameless ghouls over there. So, we had a couple fill-ins jump in and do some tours with us, but we just kind of I mean, shout out to Drew and our boy Jacob for jumping in, but it's one of those things where I'm just like the it's tough to have people coming in and out. And it's also a thing where, when the stars align and you can do stuff with the people you're supposed to do them with, cool. If not, like I write all these songs without a lead guitar in mind. And then usually like Randy in the studio on these first three records, he's done some just ripped some solos. But so it's a little different. We change a couple things up, but I think the four piece is probably how it'll be for the foreseeable future. Because I think I'm going to start playing a lot more guitar live too, which when I started this band, writing all the material, like in my head, I figured I would be playing guitar. But I always like when you see a good band with a good front man. And so when we started playing live, um, I went that route. But I
Yeah.
think too, at some point, like, um, moving it to a four piece, then the space in our trailer that we would have another set of high gain amplifiers and shit. I'll be able to throw in some stuff and then we can work in some acoustic guitar and play like Abilene Grime and Prayer Lips and some stuff off the demo. And when we start doing our longer headlining sets, then I definitely want to kind of like have our live show be more of a representation of our catalog. Because right now, like, um on that tour we just did, like we just played 30 minutes straight of just like super aggressive hard songs. And so
Yeah.
it'd be cool to break that up a little bit too and have the set have some, you know, peaks and
Sure.
valleys instead of just being balls to the wall the whole
Tumbling.
time.
Yeah. Give everyone like a the full scope of what Spirit World is, you know?
Yeah. And like whatever, I like shows that are because I don't care what kind of music it is. If you see somebody play like the same variation of the same thing for too long, you get a little checked out. I like seeing bands when they can really like keep your attention for an hour plus. And for me, the only way to do that is to have like it's got to have some
There's got to be contrast in the sound,
yeah, and
right?
like I like theatrical shit, so like we definitely want to start putting on more of a stage show and more of a production, is
Yeah.
where I'd like to take this thing.
Hell yeah. That would be cool as shit. I mean, you work the crowd really fucking well. So, I can only imagine like more of a stage show and what that looks like. Like, I mean, I can't imagine it. I think it would be fucking dope. Um,
Yeah, it'll be cool. Like I got a lot of ideas, so that's something that we're in the process of developing right now, figuring out the what the live show is going to look like moving forward.
Hell yeah. So, that tour with Avatar, did that give you ideas on like the live show, like the maybe behind the scenes production aspect of it?
Yeah, I mean, they're really inspiring. Everything about how they operate as a band. Like they have a really complicated stage design, and so their crew and the stage manager and production folks, like every day they had to set up and uh kind of adjust their stage because the drum riser split and was on a track, and then all of the lighting fixtures moved side to side and were driven by belt fed um motorized things that are running off of, they're all cued to the show, but just a lot of ins and outs and a lot of crazy shit. And it's cool to watch a band like how do you do that? How do you actually take a complicated road show and make it work every day when the stages are different sizes and everything had to be kind of modular and be able to be customizable enough to, like, some nights if it wasn't deep enough, like the beginning of the show when they all come out on the riser and it looks like they're in the boat from the video. Some nights they couldn't do that, so they had to scrap that and then do some different things. So in that regard, yeah, like super, super cool band. Their crew is really top notch, like really like above and beyond cool to us too. Because when you have that much shit to set up, like there's not a lot of stage, and they were very cool making sure we still had room to throw up our gear and
Hell yeah.
have a gig.
That's that's super cool. So it's really cool when the the larger bands take out smaller bands, right? Especially for like fans of music. I think when a lot of times you go to a show, I, me anyway, I want to be there early because I want to see the opening act, right? Are they
Yeah.
good? Or do they set up the, do they really build the energy for, for the following bands? Like what's going on? And you guys fucking crushed it. Like I can't tell you, here in Louisville, I can't tell you how many people were like, "Who's that?" I'm like, "Dude, they're fucking great." And I think there was one other like group there that knew you guys prior to that. It looked like you guys sold a shit ton of merch and had a great line for the fucking meet and greet when you were there. Um,
Yeah, man, we do really well. Like, that's one thing I've been preaching is we try to challenge ourselves and not go play with like a it's easy when like you get into the bigger heavy metal thing to get kind of pigeonholed into where you just tour with certain bands or certain scene. And so we've been really careful to get Spirit World set up where we're allowed to go play with anybody because there's not very many bands that can go play like a American Legion show with Terror to just straight up hardcore kids and then on the floor, and then the next night be playing, like a big heavy metal show like with Avatar, but then we'll go tour with like, Sepultura or somebody. So I found that our stage show, even though we're probably heavier and like the influences that we have, the Avatar crowd probably isn't a bunch of people that, listen to bands like Cro-Mags and Hatebreed and Ringworm and like the old thrash stuff that like I really dig and pull from. But even without having that like common thread, just our live energy and like the power of the riff and the groove, like we're able to stand on our own, and people right before we play will have no clue who we are. And then by the time we're done, it's like there's enough energy and enough output, and people can tell we really give a shit about what we're doing. So I think like those things are very important. And then, you just kind of win over people every night. It's cool.
well, another part of that is not having a sound like everyone else. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like you guys, the sound stands on its own enough, and it's solid, and you guys are tight as a band. I think crowd, especially a crowd like the Avatar crowd, they're going there for a performance. It's not just four guys standing on stage playing, heavy fucking metal yelling at you. Like they want a performance, and that's, I think, part of you, like, back and forth on the stage and really working that crowd and interacting.
Yeah.
Like, that's what they want. They want to feel like they're part of the show.
Yeah, and like that's something we've been developing as a band. Like we play to so many different crowds. Like you got to have some different tricks in your bag because like some of these shows there's no room on the stage. So like alien weaponry, for some reason, like Henry likes to have a riser, which as a support band, like that's like we'll play with anybody, we'll make it work. Like we're all punk rock kids, but like when a support band doesn't strike drums like that because they have to have a riser, that old school like 80s, like coming from where we did, like in the hardcore punk scene, like you just laugh at bands like that because then there's no room for the opener. So the opener's got like stage monitors, and then I had the tracks from all of Avatar's crazy shit running, so you can't like they stick up like this far. And so you're trying to dodge all the cables. There's a drum riser. So half the show's like Preston's drum kit from like where I am in the center. There's like zero room. So like half of the thing with playing these shows is like you got to defeat the barricade. You're playing early. People don't know who you are. Trying not to trip over all this shit on stage and you have no room. So it's like, how do you present your set in a way that makes it feel like, because some bands like that can throw you off and then you just stand there and you're kind of like, because there's no room on the stage, you just kind of basically practice in front of people and it sucks the energy out. And everybody's seen an opening band like that where it's like it looks like they don't have room on stage and they're kind of hate what they're doing. So that's one of the things. It's like you just can't allow stuff like that. You have to be, if the guy's going to leave his big ass riser with his drum kit, if that's that important. It was the same thing when we played some shows with like Behemoth and Hypocrisy had this fucking ridiculous drum riser with all this horse shit on it. And like we got into it with their crew because it has like all this metal shit that they like build and put on it. And it was so big, it went to the front of the stage. We couldn't even get drums. And so then we had to like, you know, whatever. Certain bands will allow stuff like that. We're all like working class guys, so we had to go and have a meeting of the minds and be like, yeah, we're gonna play a couple shows with y'all. Like we're gonna get our drums up here. Sorry, buddy. Like
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
that
That
kind of stuff is just like, makes it hard to do your job, but also if you can approach it with a good attitude and like figure out how to make a win out of it after you keep doing it, then you get to the point where like, you know, doesn't matter if there's a barricade, doesn't matter if there was a show on this tour where there was no floor. It was all seats, literally. I walked out in a theater, everybody sitting down, seats all the way to the front of the fucking stage. And it's like, yo, what are we doing? Like,
yeah.
you know what I mean? So like stuff like that, you just got to like go through the fire and figure out how to connect with people, even if it's very, because our shows, when it's just us, are a lot more aggressive. Avatar's crowd is a little less, like they're a very fun crowd. They're kind of like a festival crowd, but some nights, even our set, I could tell we were pushing it right to the limit where it was like the circle pits were getting so like
Yeah.
rowdy and so many people crowd surfing and I'm like egging all this shit on and then I could see like it kind of making their fans not dig it. And so I had to like read the room a few times and
Pull it
pull
back a
back
little bit.
because,
Yeah.
you don't want to disrespect like the headliners crowd too. Cause I mean, I love all those folks that came out. And as much as I want people to have like a wild, rowdy time, I also like pay attention. And if I see that it's like they've got some kids up front or some older folks that like crowd surfers are coming down on their head, like you got to kind of, you know what I mean? Because you can egg that
Yeah.
shit on, and then that guy will get in a fist fight, and then it turns into chaos. Which some nights and some like bands you tour with, that's fun to do. But this
Right.
tour was, I had to be
Not that at
mindful
all.
of. We're probably the most aggressive, rowdiest thing that a lot of these folks have seen in a while. So try not to make it so, I don't want to say violent because like we didn't play any like crazy shows compared to like us, Nails, Terror, Obituary.
Yeah.
Some of those shows were fucking, you know what I mean? You just hear people getting smacked. Like they were just
Completely
violent
different
as fuck.
crowds. Yeah. Broken noses
Yeah.
and shit. You're like,
Yeah, but I mean those crowds are having fun too, you know? It's just
yeah.
like, and I grew up in this culture where you kind of just, you got to figure it out real quick when you're playing because you don't want to, you know what I mean? You don't want to ruin
Yeah.
somebody's night over some
Yeah.
bullshit. You want everybody to have fun and have a good release. But it is tricky when you're, trying to sort all that out on the fly and headbang and scream your head off and run around like a
Every
maniac.
time. Yeah. Yeah. It's funny. I was watching Security. I'm a people watcher. I love watching how people react to shit. So I'm watching Security when they started like crowd surfing, and the one dude's face was like, "Oh no, I was not prepared for this shit at all." Like,
Yeah, that happens too. Like I don't know, you just learn this stuff. Like nobody ever talks about shit like this, but like when you start doing bigger tours, there's always photographers in the ditch between the barricade for the first three songs. So when a band like us comes out, and luckily the we were playing to a lot of new folks, and it wasn't like playing with, we've toured with Obituary before, so our tour in May between Nails, Terror, and Obituary, like a lot of their fans listen to Spirit World. So it wasn't like we'd come out and play and there'd be like, just pockets of people that liked us. There would be a bunch of people. So it would
yeah,
start going off before we even, like the first note, people would be fucking getting it. And so like right when a show starts, like that Avatar one, there's no security down there. It's only photographers. So a couple nights when we played and it got rowdy immediately, I'm like literally having to like grab a security guard and like tell them on the mic, be like, do your fucking job, like go catch these people before somebody breaks their damn neck. And meanwhile, there's all these photographers who are oblivious, like in the ditch shooting pictures, and you're
snapping
like,
away. Yeah,
yeah, and so you kind of wait for them too. Like you got to wait for that to clear out, and then you can start egging on the crowd more because last thing anybody wants is someone to go over that barricade and knock their teeth out or something, you know?
yeah. No one, you definitely don't want a crowd surfer to fucking broken neck or whatever. So
Yeah.
much. I don't know. Like those people, they fucking the ones that we saw there back by the merch booth. They fucking loved you. They absolutely loved you, and it's cool that you all are so new to me, and I'm watching this, like watching these people come and be new fans. I fucking when I love music, I want the band to keep making music. Like let's do this
Yeah, yeah,
shit.
it's cool, man. Like that's why we do stuff like go out to the merch table. Like there's a lot of metal bands don't do that stuff, like the paid meet and greet and all that has its place, but like we're all just fans of music. Everybody that I play music with is like, still goes to shows and supports bands and it's just a fan of music. Like Friday night, we're all going to see this country band we like, Turnpike. Troubadours is playing. Then the next night, our friends in Madball are playing a bar downtown. And then Sunday night, Madball's playing in LA. And like our merch guy, um, gonna be doing some stuff with them and like our guitar players going out there. But like we're just like the same as we're just music fans, We're all just
Yeah,
like stoked about it. So we try to just kind of bridge that gap of like, I don't know. I always like when bands are cool and down to earth. You can be like a rock star, like on stage type thing, sure. But I also find that stuff to be somewhat lame. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, it's, I think it's a really different world. Thinking back, I was talking to a buddy of mine about, the 80s earlier, like rock stars in the 80s when, at least for us as kids, we're like, oh my God, that's so fucking cool. They're doing all the drugs and doing all the things, whatever that is. Oh man, it'd be so cool to meet them. And now, um, in the age of the internet, that like barrier, that threshold between like rock stars or performers and regular people is so low that you can go out to a show and be like, oh shit, hey, I just I just saw you. I mean,
Yeah,
Kevin
yeah.
Kane from Knocked Loose was at that Avatar show.
Yeah, that like they had toured with Alien Weaponry. So like
Yep.
I think there was, but it's all that stuff. Like I don't know. I just grew up in a like playing music in a way where the kids throwing the shows and the kids in the bands and the kids rocking out were all incestuous, you know? So it's like the kid pitting the hardest for this band. Next thing you know, like they're walking up on stage in the same clothes and now their band's playing. And I just kind of I never really lose sight of that playing on the floor, punk rock shit. No matter how big like my band gets, I like we've done shit where we've played with bands and it doesn't happen too often, but where there's stuff that's just so cringy, you're just like almost can't even believe it. Like trying to think of like a good example, like, oh, speaking of Randy, like we play a show with Ghost and there's like a catering tent backstage, but nobody's allowed to walk into it per and who knows, like maybe that's just like I don't know what the fucking deal was, but it's like the we're like hanging out with Randy and like some security guard is like sweating my old lady because we're like taking a picture together and we're like, fuck off. We're not trying to take pictures of a fucking ghost. Like we're
Right.
all friends. Like kick rocks guy. And we were like out of the country too, so it's weird because there's like a language barrier. But then it's like we're supposed to like the catering tent is like, oh, it's closed to support bands. We can go in if you tell us what you'd like, we'll bring you out something, but per ghost. And it's like, okay, whatever. You know what I mean? Like that stuff is
Yeah.
so crazy to me. I'm just like, I'm sure there's a good reason for it, but in the
Well, I
moment,
think, yeah, it's weird. King Diamond does something really similar, right? Like they've got their like closed backstage set. So if you're not, but it's not quite to that point where like no support bands have to stay over here. No, they all intermingle back there, but no one
yeah.
else. If you're not in their touring party, like stay the fuck out. I think I could be wrong. You know, who the fuck am I? Just some dude.
Yeah, and
But I
it's
think a
all
lot of that
like,
is
I
the
mean, stuff
photos.
is like complicated for everybody, you know. So I
Yeah.
try not to judge what other people are doing because, you know, I'm not in their skin. I don't know what's going on, you know what
Right.
I mean? But
Yeah,
just like a
you don't know what they're
minor,
going after.
minor annoyance when you're like having to tell some security guard to like back up. You're not touching my old lady's phone and deleting pictures. Like, go fuck
Right.
yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. Fuck that. I'd be pretty pissed off,
Yeah.
or maybe not pissed off, but protective. Like, no, you stay in your lane, bro. So, so far, I mean, the band started what 2017, right?
Uh, yeah, that's when the demo came out, but it didn't really start until like right after COVID. Because I mean, like I wrote that demo with Matt and then we recorded it. But I mean, we practiced a couple of times, played a couple shows, but it wasn't like an active thing. You know what I mean? It
Yeah.
wasn't until I cut Pagan Rhythms and then we started touring off of that that, you know, we started being like a band, you know?
Look at us. We're a real band.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I don't know. It's just like when you think about like the time put into something, like this has been a pretty full time, like max output for probably since like 2020, I'd say 2021, somewhere in there. It's been pretty, you know.
That's fucking solid. Like, what? So, since you guys have been doing this full time or at all, what's been the coolest tour that you guys have done?
Um, I mean, they're all pretty cool. Like, I can't lie. Like, we get to do some cool shit. Like, the first tour we did with Obituary, Municipal Waste, Gate Creeper, and Forced was fucking killer. And even like the Avatar one, like those aren't bands that I listened to that I was very aware of, outside of just like knowing who they are and like
Yeah.
kind of seeing like some videos and stuff. But I had went and seen Avatar with Orbit Culture because I really dig Orbit Culture. They played in Vegas a couple years ago. So I went out to see Orbit Culture, but like even tours like this, it's not like Alien Weaponry and Avatar are sort of new bands to me to listen to, but super fucking cool to tour with. Super nice. Shows were great. Everybody got along. So yeah, it's hard to pick, man. They're all good. Like Terror, I grew up like with those dudes. So like Todd and Scott from Nails and Terror, like our old bands were playing together in like, I don't know, 2002 or some shit. So like tours like that are rad too, where you're like people that you've known for ever. You know what I mean? You're all just up
Yeah.
doing your thing, cruising around the country, playing gigantic, rowdy shows. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah. It's always fun to like go and do shit with your friends, like,
Yeah, and it's like, and you realize the older you get too, like it's really hard to keep a band going. And even if you like get a band that's kind of popping, it's really hard to get to even seize the opportunity and do it. So you like we really don't take any of this for granted. Like the opportunities that we get and the shows we play. So yeah, I kind of love
yeah.
all of them.
Hell yeah. That's cool. That's a really good perspective, I think, that maybe uh, not everyone has. Like, oh, we did this tour and I guess it was all right. But, it seems like in our conversation that the tours you're going out on, even with, bands you don't normally listen to, you're learning shit from them, which, as a young band, I think is so important. And I say a young band, right? Because,
Yeah.
you're fuck essentially a few years at this point. Um,
Yeah, that trips people out. I was just like on this tour, somebody was asking me about that and like because I got a new record I wrote and like getting our plans together and probably go get that recorded next year and out. And I don't know, they were just basically saying like, God damn, you guys are like more active, like putting out records than a lot of people. And while that's true, like we're like I'll probably have our fourth full length out, next year. It's like that's not the norm anymore, but like I really appreciate having the opportunity to do this. So to me, like some bands, I feel like maybe they need 3, 4, 5 years to even want to sit down and try to get in the headspace of because it's hard to make a record when people pay attention to your band. Because like one thing that is like I don't know what you call it, but like you just people fucking are judgmental, you know what I mean? Everyone
oh
you deal with, and then they want to have a everybody's got an opinion, and so I kind of am absolved of that a little bit, like with so far, because I just literally only do what I want, and it seems to work out just fine. But some of these people I know that like they sort of feel like they have to write a certain kind of record in order to like push them to the next level. And if it doesn't do it, then all this work is a failure. And you know what I mean? There's this pressure that,
yeah, but it's very different, right? Like, I think a lot of those folks who feel like, okay, we have to write, like thrash bands. Oh, we have to go write this complete like thrash, not really veer off our formula or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, they're not they're not going after like we're doing what we want to do. They're going after how can we make more money, right?
Yeah, and I totally get that. Like, but I don't have any of those constraints because like
yeah,
everybody in my band works for a living. Like we set up our lives to be able to do this band on top of everything else. And so as a band gets bigger, like maybe that'll change and some of that will come into play for us too. But I've done a really good job of like not being insulated from any of that. Like I don't, whatever, a label, a manager, any of that kind of stuff, like I don't even have any of that conversation. I just do what I want. And if you want to work with us, that's kind of the deal. You know what I mean? And if you don't,
well,
then cool, cool.
yeah, that's how it should be though, right? Like in my mind, that I've designed my life that way too. Like I do what I want when I want. Like if I want to fucking fly out to LA to go to the whiskey and see a band, I fly out to fucking LA to go to the whiskey and see a band. Like,
Yeah.
and my wife gets it. She's cool with it. But it's, I think more people are learning that they have to do that with their lives. Like, instead of, I graduate high school, I either go to college or I find my career and I go work in a factory. They're learning, oh, if I'm a barber or a tattoo artist or a realtor or a loan officer or whatever, I can do whatever the hell I want and, still earn a pretty decent living.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's more than one way to skin a cat for sure, you know. Like it's just
Yeah.
I think also because I like this is kind of a solo project for like the writing shit of it, you know. So I don't even have really input. Like I don't have to run shit by anybody, you know what I mean? Like I don't have any of that's difficult to navigate, takes a lot of communicating, not hurting people's feelings. And if somebody has a great idea, you know, if you start getting into that dynamic, then you're kind of an asshole if you don't let somebody explore their idea. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, I'm sure great stuff can come from anywhere, but for me, like I've been really able to just kind of have my vision and just go do my thing.
Yeah. I mean, it goes back to creating what you want to create, right? Like,
And some people are cool with like, you know, it's not for everybody. Like, but I like going on tour. I do and playing shows, but I like making music is why this band exists. Like it's for some people maybe it's not that way, but I like the challenge of having nothing and then trying to figure out like how can I make something cool? Like how do I make this thing? How do I write songs and make another record and figure out the artwork and the merch and you know what I mean? Like that whole puzzle of stuff. There's a lot that goes into it. And like I'm right in the middle of that right now. And it's like some of the ideas that I came up with that are cool. I'm just like that shit's exciting, you know? Like
yeah,
that's the part of this that is the most fulfilling to me is like the being
the
able to
creation.
really like put together stuff that's in your head and like bring it to life.
Yeah. That's fucking cool. That's super cool. I'm not gonna lie. I'm excited for whatever the next album is gonna be.
Yeah, me
I'm
too,
not.
man. I'm pumped. Fucking got
eh,
some good stuff.
Hell yeah.
Got a couple more songs I want to write, but I pretty much got it in the can. So just gotta think I got it pretty much figured out. Gonna be go time. I'm pumped.
Hell yeah. Right back to it. Back on the fucking road.
Yeah, and I mean I come from the belief of if you put out cool records, like people will fuck with you. You know what I mean? Like if you put out boring mid shit, like you're only as good as your last record. And so I just like, I don't know. I'm excited to make stuff. So I don't think
That's
anybody will be too I think people will be excited. And I think we're like so many people found us off Eldorado. Like Death Western Eldorado, like this last couple years, the band has kind of exploded in just like how many people across the world know who we are. So I think this next one, there'll be a lot of people that'll be excited to see what we're doing, you know?
yeah. It'll be it'll be really cool to see like what that translates to in like crowd capacity for Spirit World too. Um,
Yeah.
like I one of my favorite things, like for me early on, I was always like a just super into music, and I got into Nirvana like early, like right after Bleach came out, and all my friends were like, "That's the worst shit I've ever heard. It's fucking terrible." And then Nevermind comes out, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, they're the best
Yeah.
thing ever," and I'm like, "Fuck you guys!" Like I was the
Yeah,
worst.
I love that shit. Like I've seen so many bands like I don't know, just bands that I've seen play in front of like 30 people. Like Turnstile's one. I just went and me and my girl went and seen them on their last tour. We went out to they played a show with Speed and Amel and the Sniffers at Petco Park, like behind it in San Diego where the Padres play. They have like a outdoor stage set up like right behind the baseball field. But like the first time I saw Turnstile, I mean, like it was off of there maybe right after the first 7 inch and like maybe 40 people. And then you fast forward whatever it's been, a decade, and there's 10,000 people, fucking just insane. Like,
Yeah,
and not 10,000 like hardcore kids. It's like, they've crossed over into being whatever you want to say, like coworkers. You know what I mean? It's like
yeah,
they're big as big can get. Like super cool, man. And still
yeah.
great. Great show.
First
Great
time
band.
I saw first time I saw them was Louder Than Life a few years ago, and um, God, it was probably right after COVID. So like 20, even then, like 21 or whatever. There's probably only like 200 people at the fucking stage to watch them, and they were fantastic.
Yeah.
Now I feel like they're damn near like headlining Louder Than Life, at the size that they are,
I
which
think they
is
are like maybe not louder, but we're playing maybe Rockville or something next year. One of the other fests that we're doing next year. I'm pretty sure Turnstile's headlining one of the I think the day we play, I think they headline one of the stages or something.
oh shit,
Fucking badass, man.
hell yeah, good for them. Like again, right? Like I love seeing bands fucking that want to do it, just get out there and do it and grow. I mean, you guys are doing everything you need to do. You're putting music out. You're on the fucking road, which is I think a lot of young bands don't understand the road aspect of it. Oh, I'll just put this. We'll just keep putting music out and playing, local shows.
Yeah, and it's tough. Like, we all cut our teeth in the music shit, touring in bands. So like, I mean, we have a great team. So like Nick Storch that books our band, he got Pagan Rhythms when it came out and loved it. So from like day one, I've had literally the best booking agent in the world, fucking putting Spirit World out. So like those are the things too. When I say we don't take it for granted, it's like we only do cool shit. Like it's pretty incredible, Like it's hard not to get excited to go do shit when literally Nick puts us out with like all my favorite bands, just the raddest shit all the time. Like it's amazing.
Yeah, yeah. That I mean, it's when you can go out and enjoy the show every fucking night and with friends. Like,
Yeah, it's sick. Like we around Louder Than Life, like we played some shows with Carcass and their tour manager, Rob. he ended up he just took the job tour managing Avatar. So like I hung out with him in September, did a few shows with Brujeria and Carcass, and then did a whole 5 week tour. Like, I don't know, it's just cool, man.
Yeah, Josh Richardson, I think, was uh, one of the techs for Carcass on that run.
For drums?
Yeah,
Yeah, he did some obituary stuff too, man. Yeah, he's a good
yeah,
dude.
yeah.
Yeah,
Josh is
hell
cool as
yeah.
fuck.
Yeah, he's a good guy, man. Like he's
Yeah,
we've done a few tours with him. That's the other thing too, is like you just like I don't know, man. We're cool to everybody. We got a lot of friends, so it's like shit like that. It's nice when you go into a place and even the people coming out to shows, like we're at the point now where like the first year or two, you feel like everywhere you play, it's like all brand new people. But now, like when we play a show, like we recognize people. Like there's people that drive. If we don't play by them, like, there's carloads of people that drive 4 or 5 hours that like we're playing the show. And I'm terrible with names and faces, but like I'll recognize somebody and we'll be in one city and then I'll talk to them and I'll be like, maybe they went somewhere else, but like it's cool. We have this cult following where people really, really fucking like Spirit World and come out. So that's another thing that like when you ask about like favorite tour, it's like every tour we do is almost getting more special because we just have like this like our following is just starting,
it's
you know what I
growing.
mean? And
Yeah.
so it's cool to see like you just see it every night. Like the I think we played Louisville 3 times this year,
Yep.
maybe. I don't
Yeah.
know. There's been
Louder than
places
life.
we played like, we've played
Harrison
like
Hall
five or
and
six
fucking
times in the last couple of years, and every time we play is a great show and like a really sick show. And so now when we go back, it's like you just see that kind of that work you put in, you see it like translating. Just like Avatar, like you show up at the venue and we show up at one to load in and like there's people outside and fucking face paint waiting. And then by the time we're sound checking, there's a line all the way around the block. Like
yeah.
that doesn't get much cooler than that, you know?
No, that's what you build towards, right? So when you go to a
Yeah.
city and you're like familiar faces in the crowd, it's that it's that you're doing the fucking right thing. We're doing it. Just fucking keep this course, whatever it is. Um,
Yeah, it's tight, man. It's rewarding, you know? It's nice to and too, because I don't go back and listen to our records or anything. I like to make stuff. I'm not very nostalgic about it. So once it's done for me, unless we play it live, I don't really revisit stuff. So there's a couple times on this tour where people just bringing up certain things I've made that like they really, really like or whatever. And sometimes I got to think about it. Like some kid was asking me about a certain like sample from a song, like where I got it, what movie it was pulled from, and I was just like, fuck, I don't even know what you're talking about. Like I gotta like let me refresh my memory and see what the hell. And it was
like
off of Death Western. It was off a Committee of Buzzards. There's a sample in the beginning, but it's not actually from a movie because we couldn't get the sample cleared. And our old label, Century Media, was ran by Sony. And so on Pagan Rhythms, nobody said shit. And I had all these samples that were uncleared. And our A&R guy who he just stopped working there, the legendary Mike Getter, we just kind of winked at each other. I was like, oh, yeah, everything's cleared. And then on Death Western, they were like a lot more strict about we need to see some documentation. So then last minute, I had a friend of ours, Bob Wayne, who was in a badass country band. He actually re-recorded the movie sample, and then I did some effects to it and processed it. But It was originally from a movie called High Low, um, Country with Woody Harrelson. But yeah, some kid was all fucking super stoked on that for whatever reason. And I'm like scratching my head. I'm like, let me transport back to whenever I was doing that, you know. Haven't thought
Let
about
me
it since, really.
I'm gonna Google that shit real quick. Oh yeah, I remember. Like,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
funny.
It's cool that what people like latch onto in the fucking album too, because you talk to 15 different people and they will all give you something else that they liked about it, which is
Yeah.
super fucking rad. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm. Did you guys get a lot of kickback with the fucking outfits you wear on the stage?
Kickback, like, what do you mean?
Like, did people like when you first started doing it? Did they like, what the fuck are you guys doing?
I mean, it's hard to tell. Like, we only see body language. It's not like, I'm in earshot and I can hear the conversations. But
Yeah,
like, hard to say. I think a lot of people compliment us on it, think it's cool, and then some people don't get it really. But
yeah,
the unless you know about the band and know like I wrote like some horror western stories and that there's like a whole like lot of lore behind all these records and they're all concept albums. Like you can't expect people to that have never heard of your band to know what you're doing, you know.
right.
But I don't know. I think nudie suits are cool. We don't wear them because we think we're cool. We wear them because we think nudie suits are cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If that
Well,
makes sense.
it fits the aesthetic of the band too.
Yeah.
She's fucking. She's like, love me, give me all the love right now. Damn it, Sophia. Damn it. Okay, Stu. I know you've got things to do. Um, I will extend my hand and say next time you guys are in Louisville, let me know, and we'll get you guys fed and taken care of. Um, Maybe a hot shower and a clean fucking bed for you guys to sleep in if needed. Um,
Yeah, we're good, man. We sleep in the van and hit the gym every day.
yeah.
We're a very clean band.
Stu, thank you again. Have a great night, and I'll see you on the road, dude.
All right, thank you, brother. Take it easy.
Yep.